Hey YouTube, it's been a while since my last video of this type, so I decided to make a little bit of an update towards, the usual, what my new findings and also what's been going on with my business and stuff. So, firstly, I acquired some more computers yesterday, 7 in total. Most of them not complete machines though. To start off, I got this old Dell. It's from like 1998 or 99 or so. These things, it has like a Pentium 3 MMX CPU or something. I scrapped these obviously, but some of these things have pretty big hard drives in them. This one in particular had a 100 gigabyte IDE hard drive in it, which I thought was interesting for a computer like this. So I kept a 100 gig hard drive. I'm going to use that for something else. Next is 2 Optiplex GX150s. This one has an Intel Celeron. I haven't started up yet. I'm assuming it works. It has an Intel Celeron. I think it's a 1.1 gigahertz CPU probably. I think it has 512 megs. It's Sync 133 RAM and stuff, no hard drive. And this one has the Intel Pentium 3, same model, but it had a 512 meg chip of Sync 133, which I thought was interesting, because 512 megs is quite a bit of RAM for one stick of Sync RAM to have. It had 2 hard drives in it, a 10 gigabyte and a 20 gigabyte. I scrapped the 20 gigabyte, and I'm going to use the 20 gigabyte. In this thing, I'm actually wiping it now. I could have used another 20 gig in it, but there's no point in using a different one because my work area is kind of full with other machines right now. I think the Pentium 3 is around 1 gigahertz. So yeah, I also got another machine which I do not have right now because I already got rid of it. It was an HP Pavilion of some sort. It was a desktop with a 3 gigahertz Pentium 4 on the motherboard, no RAM, no hard drive, nothing else. It didn't even have a front. It didn't even have a front bezel to the case or case siding or anything. So I went ahead and put the motherboard in this computer here. I'll give you a quick look inside here, I guess. If I can pull this open any easy way. There we go. So there you have it. That's the motherboard. So yeah, it was inside some old HP, well, not old, but somewhat old HP. One of those HPs that's supposed to sit outside with a monitor on top of it. Obviously the case was no good, and it was just the motherboard and the CPU, so I took those out. And the motherboard, thankfully, the heatsink is one of those heatsinks that blows from front to back rather than from top to bottom, so it was good in this case, because this case has a design where the power supply goes above the heatsink, so the power supply won't block the heatsink fan all that much to the CPU. I put a gigabyte of DDR 400 megahertz RAM in here, dual channel. I think I put, yeah, that's a DVD drive. A 200 gigabyte IDE hard drive in here, and I believe it's a 64. No, I think it's a 128 megabyte AGP video card. This motherboard is AGP 4X, but it doesn't really make a difference to the VGA outputs. But I don't have the backing to the motherboard because the backing to the motherboard was built into a motherboard mount thing, the HP, and I couldn't take that off and put it in this case. So that's too bad, but it doesn't really make a huge difference. I don't think anyone's really going to not want to buy this because it doesn't have the backing. But it is partially a good thing it doesn't have the backing, because it provides some open area in the case for air to flow from the back of the heatsink. Jesus Christ. Only problem is though that it doesn't have anywhere in this case for me to put a rear fan in it, and the motherboard is built to have a rear fan in it, so I need to hit F1 every time I start because it'll say rear fan not detected or chassis fan failure or something. It's just no big deal. Also, got 2 Dell Dimension 2400s. Oh man, I'm tired. This one, I already set up the other one. This one has a 2.2 gigahertz Pentium 4. Here, I'll open it up for you. 2.2 gigahertz Pentium 4. 256 megs of DDR2 66 memory. Had a 40 gig hard drive in it. which I'm about to wipe in another machine. I put a freshly wiped 40 gig in this thing. Instead, power supply was making a little bit of noise, so I replaced it. It's got a CD-ROM drive. It's not rewritable or anything, but it's going to make a huge difference. The other 2400 is over here. The lighting is kind of poor. I can't really get to the light switch because of all these computers in the way. Oh no. But this one had a 1 gigabyte chip of DDR400 in it, I think. Actually, I think these 2400s default to 333 megahertz memory, using to put 400 in it. But it had a chip of 256 megabytes of DDR400, which is obviously 400 megahertz. And then it had a 1 gigabyte chip of RAM in it that didn't say it's speedy. I looked it up online. It's supposed to be 400 megahertz, but it doesn't explain why the PC. It's 2400 here, I mean, turned it down to 266. But it's got 2.4 gigahertz Pentium 4. I put a 40 gig hard drive in it, CD rewritable drive, all that. Now, there was this machine here. This machine is a Gateway 550GR. The lighting's kind of bad. Okay, you can read that. It was sitting around for the longest time because I didn't have a hard drive for it, because it doesn't take IDE hard drives. Well, theoretically, yes, it can take an IDE hard drive, but it only has one IDE slot. So it's either I have, you know, an IDE hard drive and a SATA disk drive, or a SATA hard drive and an IDE disk drive. So yeah, I put that together with some SATA hard drives I bought. I bought 5 80 gigabyte SATA hard drives for $65 on eBay. They shipped up nice and fast, which is good, and that's $13 a drive, so you know, that's a decent deal. I also have two Dell Dimension 8400s that I got a little over a week ago. I haven't mentioned yet. Neither of them have had hard drives in it. No, excuse me. No, that's not right. Yes, I got one of them a week ago. I got one of them like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I got those SATA hard drives finally and popped them in there and put those together. They're worth about $80 each. And I have this Dell Dimension 9100 here. Yeah, you can't even read that. I put a 3 gigahertz Pentium 4 in it, a gigabyte of DDR2 memory, and I got a 160 gig SATA hard drive. I can't remember where, but I got it like a week or 3 ago. I put in there and got it set up with, because this 9100 is sitting around for the longest time. And it's going to be essentially it towards that mention. I think I also got some other machines last week, but I can't remember what they are. Oh, I got 2350 a week ago, but you know, it's not really worth mentioning. It's rather old. And today I also got this HP Pavilion A1610, and not today, yesterday, I mean. Now when I got it, the front bezel was taken off it. It didn't have a case siding. Thankfully, I have two other similar machines. I have two A1600s, that one right there, and that one right there. But they both have broken motherboards, so I took the case siding off one of them and put it on this thing. All it was the case, obviously, the motherboard, the power supply, and the CPU. I put 2 gigs of RAM in it. I might downgrade to 1. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. I have a 250 gigabyte IDE hard drive in it. This thing's meant to take SATA, but it has 2 IDE slots, so I put an IDE disk drive, a DVD rewritable plus RDO, whatever that means, in there. Light scribe drive, and that IDE hard drive I got a week ago, I think it might have been. I can't remember. Windows XP Media Center code. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'm hoping to get at least $75 out of that, and it's fully set up and everything. So I'm done using this. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down now, and put it in my enormous pile of PCs to sell. I think that is essentially it towards what I'm going to mention now for this video. I can't think of anything more, but yeah, so I think I'm going to talk about my business a little bit. I had a vacation this week. For the past 10 days, I had school off. Today's Sunday, and I go back to school tomorrow, and obviously I'm not psyched for that, because, you know, who likes school? I mean, I personally can't wait till I get out of school, but the point is, I haven't been selling much at all lately, but over the break, I did upload some listings, some routers, and a couple desktops and all that. Nothing has sold yet, but because I only listed them recently, because I was very busy this vacation doing other things besides my computer work. So I'm thinking I'm getting back into selling a little bit. Thankfully, finally. Man. So that's essentially it. I've been making some weak, sporadic efforts towards cleaning up this place, but you know, we're doing a little bit. This machine, I think I mentioned, I'm going to give to my friend. But before I do that, I need to replace the side fan. I don't need to, but I should. There's that side blue fin right there. It's noisy as hell. So I have a replacement for it right here, which should do the trick, make it less noisy. I can't remember if I mentioned this in my last video, but I had an NVIDIA GeForce 9800 GTX Plus in this thing, and it had the red line issue where the video output's all red. It had some cold solder joints, so I put my my other 9800 GTX Plus card in it from my 2009 build as a replacement, but I finally got around to, yes, I think I mentioned this, getting a heat gun and reflowing the solder on the old 9800. Now it works. That's going to be it for this video, though. Except for one other thing. My friend, I think I mentioned this in my last video, I gave him $20 to reset all these routers and switches and everything I have here. And he did that, and I've listed on eBay. And right now I have 4 of them listed, 2 lots of 2. One is two WMP54GS routers, another is 2 WMP54Gs. They're each selling for about $40. So far, I have a day left in the bidding. With $10 shipping, so I might make about $30 off each 2 of them. So there's 2 left right here, so I might make $30 off those 2 and all that. I didn't know they were worth so much, but I guess they are. Also, this video card was in the HP right there, but I'm trying to conserve PCI Express video cards because I don't really have enough for machines that don't have integrated video, and obviously that thing has integrated video since I'm using the video with it right now. So yeah, I'm going to leave it with the integrated video, and I'm going to use this card for something else. Although I'm kind of wary with cards with fans, because the fans like to get jammed. Well, not jammed, but they like to wear out after a while and stop working. But this one seems to be okay. I haven't tested the card out yet, though, so I can't be sure it works, but I'm assuming it is. I don't know what size it is. I haven't looked up the model number or anything yet, but, you know, no big deal. It's probably 64 meg, maybe 128, maybe even 256. Actually, I doubt it's 64. It's probably 128 or 256. Oh, so that's going to be it. I don't know what more to mention. But, as usual, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.